Well, hello lads, and welcome you all to a new video. Today we are continuing off in Fruits of Grisaia. Now let's get right into it, shall we? You make it sound like you're familiar with her past. Have you known Amane that long? I suppose, if you consider a year or so a long time. So Amane wasn't always like this. What? You want to know more about her? I just don't understand the woman. Why does she drape herself all over me like that? There's no way I would know that. How about asking her? I did. Just the other day, having stocked up on the necessities for my new dorm life at the local supermarket, I was wandering leisurely around the area in front of the station. Oh, bloody hell. That was very similar. Sorry lads, I just ate. Because I came home like 20 minutes ago. Ah, bloody hell. Huh? It's you, Chan? What you doing here? Don't call me that. Why, it's cute. Spare me. I can't get any cuter than I already am. All the other girls will get jealous and start picking on me. That tongue of yours. Anyone ever tell you it reminds them of someone? Like who? Who knows? More importantly, what's up, shopping? I pointed at the plastic supermarket bag dangling from my hand. Box of tissues, a bag of batteries, salad dressing and mayonnaise, also instant curry and dental floss, and some bean sprouts. Look, you don't just have to start rifling through my bag. If you're buying curry, Shai by the north exit is cheaper than Sanyo by the south exit, you know? Soei sells bean sprouts at 29 yen a bag too. You're as knowledgeable as always. Do you wander around comparing prices all day long? It's not like a chick every day. I just pay attention when I go shopping, I guess. She's got an impressive devotion to economizing. I felt a definite admiration, since my master was the sort of wild whom and bought things without even looking at the price tags. That's real though. Let's see, get milk, eggs and vegetables from Soei, fish, meat and tail from Sanyo. Right to remember that. Well, I'm not that caught up on the price, I appreciate the thought, but I just want a store that's convenient. That's why they call it a convenience store. Bloody hell, no. It's all well and good to wander around looking for the bargains, but when you consider the increased effort and consumption of time involved, getting too picky frequently turns into a loss. Well, I guess that's how guys are. That's right, I'll be going. You heading back? Yeah, I did finish my shopping. Then let's walk back together. As soon as the words left her mouth, Amane was standing by my side, firmly grasping my hand. What do you think you're doing? What are you talking about? This, of course. In demonstration, I raised the hand that Amane had gripped or, rather captured, her fingers entwined tightly with mine. What am I, a kid who won't go home unless Mama pulls him there? I've got to admit, I don't remember acting quite that adorable, so I'm very interested in where you're coming from here. So gripping my right arm tightly, Amane raised the forefinger of her other hand against her lip and racked her brains for an answer. Kind Bix is walking home hand in hand with her brother role-playing? Oh, is that it? If it's role-playing, then I guess I have to play along. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Do you really think I'd say that? Off! I forcefully yanked my arm free, shaking off Amane's grip. Jeez, do I hate it that much? If you think that puppy dog face will make me act nicer out of guilt, you're very wrong. Don't flirt in public, that's a rule of mine. It's okay when we're all alone. Stop twisting my words. The point is, I can't think of a single reason why I should hold hands with you. Because I want to hold hands isn't good enough? It's not an answer to a question of why you want to hold hands. The truth is, because of a traumatic accident in my past, I feel really uneasy unless I'm holding hands with someone. Some kind of obsessive-compulsive disorder? What sort of accent was it? That's a secret! The hell? Don't get mad, I'm just joking. As she spoke, Amane took my hand for the second time. Joking? When did the joke start? This is irritating. Take it a left at least. I can calm down when someone's got a hold on my dominant hand. Look, it's not like there has to be some big reason for us to hold hands. It's just, you know, we ended up being classmates and all, so let's be friends. That's all I was thinking. Why get friendly with me? Do I need a reason? When you were a kid or whatever, did you go around picking your friends by some calculation loss or gain? Hard to say, then, haven't I? Then let's reverse her question. Why don't you want to get friendly with me? I don't say I don't, I just want to understand your motive. Then it's all good. Let's be friends. You're a weird one. I'm pretty sure there isn't a single normal kid at our school, you know? I'm going back. Yeah, let's. I moved to my left as I requested. Amane didn't mess around any further. On our way back, she calmly acted her age. Holding hands really did seem to be enough to satisfy her. Oh, bloody hell, I want to vomit. Oh. Bah. I feel sick. Well, it happens. Those malware bites go away. Those did run through my head, considering it's only been a day since we met. She's brazen, bizarrely friendly. But still, she's a member of our class, full of special cases. Despite her relatively normal facade, Amane must have had her own unhappy circumstances. This handholding may well have some meaning for her. So, out of consideration for her past, you found yourself unable to flatly refuse her demands for physical contact, and that toleration gave rise to this flagrantly over-the-top fondling, right? Well, make a detective out of you yet! You're quite full of yourself. Sakaki, what sort of accident was Amane involved in? I don't know. If it's not something you can talk about, I'll leave it alone. That's not it. I really don't know, and I don't particularly want to know either. Although I have heard that the incident involved a motor vehicle accident. A car crash? Apparently, a bus she was riding was in a serious accident which gave rise to mental illness, or something along those lines. My information is admittedly limited, but I certainly didn't hear anything about a pathological need to hold hands. Then why is she so persistent about it? I'm telling you, I don't know. Her eyesight is bad, maybe that's the cause. Does bad eyesight make you want to hold hands? Who knows? Babies with undeveloped eyesight calm down by confirming the shape and warmth of things in their mouth. Maybe physical contact is reassuring when you can't see well. A plausible theory, but I'm just having a hard time buying it in her case. In the first place, are her eyes that terrible? I don't know. I think I mentioned this, but I'm not interested. I wasted my breath talking to you. What a coincidence. I was just about to mention how incredibly tedious I find speaking with you. Guess we're done here. Or we would be if I hadn't just spotted Kamine Sachi out of the corner of my eye. Hey Sachi, you have a minute? Yes, what can I do for you? Do you know anything in particular about Amane's past? No, I can't say I'm familiar with the details. So in other words, nobody knows the whole story. It's not the sort of topic we feel comfortable asking about. And if she had recovered emotionally to a point where she'd practically share the story of her misfortune, she wouldn't be stuck in a place like this. True enough. As long as the person in question doesn't want to discuss it, I suppose she shouldn't pry any further. In the first place, I'm a little dubious that Amane's past has anything to do with holding my hand. Let's see. Did you perhaps do something to gain her affection, prompting an unconscious desire to hold your hand? Let's take things to a new direction. Specifically, what do you think I did? Let's see. For example, maybe you rescued Amane's son when she was surrounded by a gang of hooligans? On a rainy day, she spotted you silently leaving her umbrella over an abandoned kitten in a cardboard box. What's so funny? Well, whatever. Neither rings a bell. I have no memories of us being lovers in a previous life either. A nasty memory like that would be best forgotten anyway. It is quite the event that a boy finally transferred into his school. Maybe she wanted to sort of try out the experience of dating now that she has the chance. You think so? Incidentally, Sachi, does that mean you've got an interest in holding hands and going on a date with me as well? Well, I'm not opposed to holding hands itself, if you strongly ordered me. Hold hands with me, or going on a date? I'm fairly sure I wouldn't refuse. I see. Thank you for your valuable opinion. I'll follow it under not helpful in the slightest. How about you, Sakaki? Me, holding hands on a date with you. Right, got an interest? This is a problem. I'm not sure how to answer without hurting you. I get the picture. Thanks so much for your compassion. So in the end, asking around didn't get me anything resembling a clear answer. From what Sakaki says, it doesn't seem like Amane wants to hold hands indiscriminately. The mystery's only deepened. You alright there, Makina? This door is narrow, don't bump against it. Yeah, I got it! And literally 2 seconds later you do it anyway. I'm at sort of life form. Just at that moment, Amane enters the classroom pulling Makina by the hand. Oblivious that I'm gossiping. I point my thumb towards the parent their connected hands. You said Amane doesn't have a habit of holding hands, right? Well, it is to some ways a special case. If you don't keep a grip on her, She'll wander off to God knows where. Sakaki watches Amane and Makina as she speaks. Suddenly she clasps her hands together, struck by a burst of insight. Perhaps she's put you in the same category as that girl. Say what? Wait, what? I've been put in the same category? With this girl who looks about 12? And seems likely to get lost stuttering after a butterfly? What a seriously unpleasant thought. So sounds the helpful type. You know, this might sound a little bad, but perhaps she loves hopeless men. I appreciate that you're probably trying to help, but that's basically an indirect way of saying you look like a hopeless man. Yes, that's exactly what I meant to imply. Sakaki, could you please stop rubbing salt in the wound without even realizing it? It kind of stings. Bloody hell. My, that's unexpected. I was trying to be as generous as possible too. But answering one last question for me. What is it? Is there even a single normal person in this school? I thought I told you already. If they were normal, they wouldn't be here. And it goes for you as well. True enough. Don't think you get some special variety of unhappiness. Sensing the admiration underneath Sakaki's words, I feel the stirrings of something like shame. Whether it's normal or not, the student life isn't bad in its own way. I started to like this place enough to reach that conclusion. A hobby is a window that gives you a fresh perspective on the world. Or so my sister said. When I was a kid, struggling through my daily life was about all I could handle. I disliked and avoided change, even when it might have brought me something new. So my sister's recommendation was to at least try reading books. That sister of mine was an unbelievably voracious bookworm herself, and she began to push the ones she finished on me. I soon picked up a reading habit, although I didn't find any particular meaning in it at the time. My sister is dead now, as are my parents and my master. Yet, I'm still reading. The sister who taught me to read books, the parents who weren't angry at me when I was reading books, and the master who praised me for reading books, buying me as many as I wanted. I'm grateful to them now, since I found some meaning in the act of reading. Kazami-kun? Do you have a moment? Yeah. I turn around in response to Miko's greeting and find her carrying a sizable load of paperback and hardcover books. I brought some books that I finished reading. Interested? Sure, appreciate it as always. It's fine. It's convenient for me to have you take them off my hands. As anyone with a long-term reading habit is well aware, books pile up before you know it. That said, it's hard to just throw them away, and selling them to a used bookstore feels disrespectful to the author. The ideal is to find another avid reader to dump them on. Instantly, before I became Sakaki had apparently been pushing the books she finished until library. By now, she's established her own private shelf in there, full of pleasure reads. Most likely, she spotted me by coincidence. She was carrying her books there, and figured she could always save herself the walk. Anyway, right? Here, I lay my hands under the book Sakaki is carrying. Hey! Watch it, don't take your hands off yet, the books are going to fall. Your hands seem to be touching mine. Of course it is. Don't worry, my hygienic standards are higher than you might expect. That's not what I... Jeez, you complain too much. Alright, I got a hold on them, you can let go. You're pretty insensitive, did you know that? That's so. Anyway, I'll gratefully read the books. When I finish one, I'll return to the Sakaki collection. So if you want to reread any of them, they'll be in the library. Fine, well then, I'll be leaving. Yeah. I take a quick look at the titles of the books I'm holding. So hey Akai, The Decisive Pudding Battle, Kumabata Takeru, Yesterday's Black Cat, Hirao Atsuko, The Exit of the Desert, Seno Takumi, Professor Takara's Dinner, Ethan Crow, An Insolent Woman, Shinono Kazuma, You Blew It, Omore. Although she reads quite a variety of genres and authors, it seems that Sakaki fundamentally likes whodunits. Of the 6 books she passed to me, 4 are mysteries. Come to think of it, I could easily see Sakaki sitting at a detective's desk, using her brains for a living. Flipping off one of the books, I speak towards the shadow of a nearby pillar. Makina, how long do you plan on hiding there? Gah! I don't mind or anything, how about you come out? How'd you know it was me? Your aura is too crude, they can sense even when you're hiding. That's news to me. I just said that for the hell of it. We were casting a shadow on the floor, I could tell it was you from the height and the shaggy hat. So my stuff was the proof part? Pretty much. Why are you hiding in the first place? I wasn't really hiding, just keeping quiet till you and Yumi-chan finished talking. Don't get along with Sakaki. I'm okay with her, you know, but I don't think Yumi-chan likes me much. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure Sakaki said something like, I think Irisu-san avoids me on purpose. You're in a state of mutual wariness. Well, I suppose that does happen sometimes. Sakaki, a very guarded person who doesn't reveal her thoughts easily, and Makina feels more secure when she's buried her way into someone's heart. Their personal comfort zones may be incompatible. Well, it's foolish to expect everyone to get along. A long time ago, I knew a guy who hated black people with a passion, and nothing anyone said could get him to change his mind. Sakaki, Yumiko, and dearest Makina, there is no need to forcefully push them together, but in their case, maybe a mutual compromise is called for. I don't think Sakaki dislikes Makina, so try not to hate her for yourself. Like I said, I'm okay with her, I don't know what to talk about with her. I see. Let me ask instead, how the heck did you get so friendly with a cranky Yumi-chan? Well, it's not like we're particularly close, but we have a common interest in books, so I guess that helped get things started. Of course, a good idea. Sakaki mostly views me as a little more than a convenient book disposal. After all, it's hard to say you're friendly with someone who scouts so bluntly just because you're hand stuck. Makina, do you have any hobbies? Hobbies? I guess walking maybe? Solo? Yeah, mostly by myself. That is a ASMR. That's not good. Why not? Doesn't playing by yourself sound kinda lewd? It's all good, yeah? No. Also, no. At the company I work at, solitary hobbies are fundamentally discouraged. They place a lot of stress on keeping up some form of communication with others. When it comes to the interests of the employees, the basics are alcohol, women, and gambling, but it's a bit difficult to own up to that in front of the boss. Therefore, when asked, some of them just came up with a safe-sounding conventional hobby like shogi or go. When the superiors reacted favorably to those answers, the end result was that the hobbies column in the employee survey data recorded an overwhelming number of shogi buffs. Although going with the flow is pretty much defining Japanese characteristic, it's still something of a pathetic story. Well, having given them a nice safe hobby like reading myself, I guess I can't really say too much. Nothing, just talking to myself. Instantly, once you're the one giving the surveys out, in other words, executive type, the above choice would be guarding. Not something you can do when you're living out of a barracks. Are hobbies that important? Yeah, it's better to have some interest than not, even if they're really worthless. For example, the aforementioned employees and their wine, women, and song. Even then, if they can help you find a single common interest in someone, their hobbies are worthwhile as a social lubricant, even if they're worthless in every other respect. This is something I heard secondhand from a senior employee at my job, but sometimes you get cases like this. What's gonna happen now? There is a story about a man who took a business trip to Gifu Prefecture. It was a group expedition with the purpose of field testing new equipment that had just been deployed throughout his company. At the time, the man in question was a new employee, not even out of his training period. Nonetheless, he found himself taking a long bumpy ride into the mountains in a company bus, accompanied by the chief of his special department. The man didn't have the first clue why he had been selected for the trip, let alone what he'd expected to do on it. To make matters worse, he was sitting next to a powerful superior he barely knew. In short, the man was about ready to vomit from sheer terror and anxiety. He fought desperately to keep calm, but his face was pale as a sheet. The bus finally reached his destination at the foot of Mount Kinka in Gifu, after many unpleasant hours, but the man's relief was temporary, as his boss informed him they would be attending a large banquet and a high-class inn that night. Corporate banquets are basically a cruel kind of talent show. The employees were expected to perform themselves skillfully for the amusement of the gathered VIPs. The newbies from each department mounted the stage, one after the other, quite a few croaked out popular karaoke ballads with stiff faces. But there were also some pretty competent juggling acts, even one stand-up comedy duo which got some laughs doing imitations of superiors. The man watched the other side with a fluttering heart. His turn was approaching fast, but he was basically a walking briefing lump of artistic incompetence, and a social type without a single talent worth performing in front of others. Just as he was wondering whether he could escape by pretending suddenliness, the man was practically kicked out onto the stage by the senior employees. For lack of a better thought, he started to sing. But the man didn't know any popular songs. Whereas he couldn't remember any of the standard folk songs, or Schindler's music might have worked in a pinch, and went instead with a theme song from a superior TV show, Lightspeed General Daimakarov, which he'd loved as a kid. By this point, he couldn't help but feel a growing sense of despair. This was of course the man's first time singing in public, and he didn't have much of a voice. In moments he was shouting jeers from the audience. Now Larry sings, what's wrong with you? I got all just make up off on the spot. That's enough, get off the stage, you suck. Although he wasn't the type to break down in tears, the man felt a deep urge to dig himself a hole and crawl into it, on a sheer stubbornness carrying him through to the last humiliating note. When it was over, the man quickly bowed from the stage and raced back to his seat. On that walk back from the stage, the man had a thought. I wish I'd learned a popular song or two. So if you'd been singing karaoke is a hobby, you wouldn't get embarrassed. Well, if you look at it that way, you're right. But the story isn't over yet. Well, it is for us. I hope you'll enjoy the episode. Press like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.